When the people of Israel asked for a king, instead of their current theocratic system of judges administering the law, God told Samuel, the last judge and a prophet of God, to anoint a king as they wished, but also to tell them what kings do. Let's join the account as Samuel begins to spill the beans in 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 11. And he said, "This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed, and of your vineyards, and give it to his officers, and to his servants." So it was ever thus. The state becomes a rival to the allegiance of children to their parents. And the state brings in taxes, so you pay the state to take your children. All over the United Kingdom, local authorities, social services, child protection departments are taking children from parents and putting them in their own care with known disastrous outcomes. We all agree children should be protected from abusive parents, but the evidence I have seen shows social workers taking children away from perfectly good parents on the flimsiest of excuses. Why do they do it? It used to be to meet adoption targets brought in by then Prime Minister Tony Blair. These days, it seems a combination of departmental empire building, social workers advancing their careers, fear of a baby peace scandal, and sometimes just antipathy to black people or Christians or the working class or homeschoolers. The state taking children bodily is not that common, although for those caught up in it, it is devastating. But it's mainstream for the state to want to take your children's minds. What the Americans call public and we call state schools are prime vehicles for indoctrinating children with the state's ideas. Firstly, state schools are at the forefront of evolution propaganda, banning any discussion about its problems or that creation is another explanation. Secondly, in what was sex education but now seems to be called personal social health education or PSHE, your children are told just how fine fornication is or gay sex just so long as you wear one of these. No, I'm not going into details. Or your child, even in primary school, may be told about people trapped in the wrong body, and before you know where you are, there are boys wearing dresses in class. The sort of weird people who want to tell other people's children about sex are sneaky. You'll hear it will be age-specific and will focus not on sex but on relationships. You think relationships means aunties and uncles, friends, being nice to people, avoiding men in raincoats. Actually, relationships is code for talking about homosexuality and families with two mothers or two dads. It's propaganda. If you have children in school, you need to be in there, finding out about the curriculum and viewing the materials. Don't be trusting. They are your children. You may have to take them out of a class or put them right on a few things at home, or even homeschool them, which the state really hates. Some countries even ban it. Homeschooling is a battleground constantly in the UK. Take this away. Don't let any modern-day king take your children or their minds.